All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call Halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakal Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, peace and mercy unto you. You Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, you are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right, so I'm going to just leave off where I left off, all right, from the last video. All right, I'm going to pick up where I left off from the last video, all right? So let's just get right into it, man, all right? So it says right here, understanding Charles T. Russell, which is the man that started the Watchtower Society, the Jehovah's Witnesses Watchtower Society, which this man was a Freemason. All right, and Freemasonry goes, is nothing but witchcraft, sorcery, wizardry. All right, so let's just get right into it, man. All right, it says, as with all occult organizations, a veil of secrecy is maintained by requiring initiates to take secrecy oaths on penalty of death. As in witchcraft, Masonry repeatedly demands secrecy oaths at every new level. All right? Because that's what Masonry is it's witchcraft, man. All right? It says Charles T. Russell began participating in this secrecy when he took the entered apprentice oath on penalty of mayhem and violent death. All right, and then it has the whole oath right here. I do hereby, hereon, solemnly and sincerely, promise, whatever. All right, this whole oath right here even goes on to the next page. All right, boom. All right, but then it has notes right here. It says confidential interviews with ex-Satanists. All right, interview by Dr. Al Carlisle with a black prince recorded in Stratford, L. Satan's Underground, page 144. It says, should the reader allow, I will quote from the power's own statement, plus other proof to show that this God, the God of the world, is Lucifer. All right. Oops, I went back a page by accident. All right, it says, for thousands of years, all right, I'm right here. For thousands of years, the plan for world domination has been passed down from occult generation to occult generation. Spaced every 28 years is a feast of the beast, a year-long holiday during which Satanists receive new instructions from Satan on how to carry out the plan. And that's what the elites do, man. They get their power from Satan. All right, on the left-hand side of the Most High. All right, it says, we read of the great holiday and its great councils of externalization of the hierarchy. All right, when Satan's instrument Alice Bailey writes, the past year has, however, been the year in which the greatest spiritual approach of all time has shown itself to be possible, an approach for which the initiates and masters have for centuries been preparing, and for which all the VSAC festivals since the meeting of the Great Council in 1925 have been preparatory. I have in past instructions referred to the great meetings held at intervals by those to whom is entrusted the spiritual guidance of the planet and particularly of man. All right, that's a quote from that book. All right, the externalization of hierarchy, page 380. Page 389. All right, it says right here, let's keep reading. It says, as example of how ingenious these plans are to create a one world government, consider the following part of it. The drug war is not what it seems. It is a various ingenious scheme to enslave the American people and destroy all their civil rights. The first rumblings of the drug war part of the plan seems to stir from the occult. So it is highly possible the drug war originally was first developed by Satanists. Yeah, because the elite bankers, all right, because they say all wars are bankers' wars, which is true, and the bankers are Satanists, man. Called Satanists, the Illuminati, Freemasons, and all of that, man. Witches and warlocks, all right. So it says perhaps even given during one of the feasts of the beast. All right, the drug war seems like the perfect plan, which no way for the power to lose. All right, first the power creates a drug culture. All right, in America. All right, it says the drug culture would and give many their first step into the aquarium conspiracy. The power would make billions of dollars by running drugs, all right, to further finance other nefarious schemes, and could use their worldwide power to crush all their competitors. When the power crushed and arrested their competitors in drug running, they would be hailed as heroes by the majority of the people, and they have. All right. The introduction of drugs into society does several things. It taxes the Christian church's ability to oppose immorality. All right. It says, all right, it gets the public indignant about drugs. And the public's moral outcry allows the power to pass drug laws that remove the last vestiges, all right, vestiges of legal civil rights. In fact, the beguiled public demands the law which abolish their rights and applauds the law in ignorance, unknowing what the law actually say or mean. Yeah. like that's how it always been, man. All right, the people don't know shit, man. All right, there's a bunch of damn slaves, blind, dead slaves. All right, bunch of zombies, man. All right, if the public somehow gets a complete picture that their government has been smuggling drugs to create a drug war in spite of the controlled media, right, or perhaps through the media at the right time, then they can create a scandal involving several U.S. presidents to eliminate the U.S. government and switch the public's allegiance to a world government. All right, and it says see chapter 3.9 for more detail on chronologically, all right, of the secret plan escalation of today's design drug war. All right, it says as an ex-Mason who is very aware of their plans said to this author, these people are in it for the long term. All right, now it goes into the bloodline of the Russels. All right, it says the purpose of this next subsection may be misunderstood unless I make myself clear at this point. This author has not established any link between the various famous Russells. All right, although I have been doing genealogy work, I have not had the chance to do long-term genealogy work required to clarify the issue. If the reader is dissatisfied with the extent of this information, he is encouraged that rather than criticize to research it himself. All right, it says the reader will observe by the time he finishes this book that this author has done extensive research into many groups. All right, one item that has popped up consistently, all right, is that people with the surname Russell repeatedly appear as important figures in the various elements of the world order as it has developed. All right, before becoming aware of the one world order, this author had no inkling how important bloodlines have been for the elite that controls the world. Friendships, all right, yeah, all right, friendships have also played a role. For instance, Eleanor Roosevelt, all right, was a close friend and confidant to Ronald Reagan's mother. This seems trivial, but the reoccurrence of bloodlines and the reoccurring discovery of connections of friendships between what have been thought of a unrelated personages compels one to believe the elite is more compact than appears. All right. It says the mysterious Watchtower Society and its founder Charles Taze Russell will serve as perhaps the most used example in this book of an organization that is secretly serving the New World Order. All right. The author is aware that there are Jehovah's Witnesses that are convert Satanists. All right. The Russell family appears to have moved from Germany to Scotland and from Scotland to Northern Ireland. In the 1820s, Alexander G. Russell went to New York City and then to Orange County, New York. All right. He could write firsthand how good it was. When the potato famine hit during the 1820s, the Russells did not have the roots to Ireland that the original Irish had. And the rest of the family moved to America except for Fanny's husband, Alexander Harper, who stayed behind in Donegal, estranged from his wife. The family tree looked like this. All right. And it says the pictures are unavailable. All right. It says, let's comment about the type of Russells that keep appearing throughout the course of history of the New World Order as this author went about his research. To summarize these various Russells, all right, all right, who until the genealogy work is done to show the connection should be viewed as individuals, not as a group, all right, have been prominent members of the Illuminati, the Masons, the Fabians, the Mormons, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Jesuits, the Royal Society, the media controlled by those of the New World Order. Let me read that again. All right, it says, let's comment about the type of Russells that keep appearing throughout the course of history of the New World Order as this author went about his research. To summarize, these various Russells, all right, have been prominent members of the Illuminati, the Masons, the Fabians, the Mormons, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Jesuits, the Royal Society, and the media controlled by those of the New World Order, a deputy chairman of the Federal Reserve. All right. Typically, they have been merchants and lawyers, with a fair share of them also as Christian heretics. All right. It will be easier, perhaps, to illustrate how the Russells keep popping up in the New World Order storyline by listing a good sampling of them. All right. So then it has it down right here. It says Russells who founded fraternal societies. All right. William Huntington Russell, founder of what is believed to be an American chapter of the Illuminati Skull and Bones Order. All right, its legal name is the Russell Trust. Yeah, all right, yeah, because when you read other chapters, like parts of when you read the Bloodlines of the Illuminati Part 1, they hide behind their trust funds and stuff like that. All right, John Russell, founder of the Fraternity of Daughters of Isabella. All right, in May 1897 in New Haven, Connecticut. Russell's connected to the fraternity organizations Charles Taze Russell, Knights Templar Mason of York Rite of Allegheny, Pennsylvania, a founder of the Watchtower Society. All right, Jehovah's Witness Charles Taze Russell was a Mason of the Knights of the Templar of York Rite. All right. Harvey D. Russell, KT Mason leader of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Beaver Valley Lodge, number 8412. All right, these are all Masonic lodges. All right, then it just gives Russell connections. All right, different members of the Russell family. All right, and who they were. James Russell, president of the Royal Society of Edinburgh, which was associated with the esoteric groups like the Masons. All right. So let's keep going. All right. So it says right here, I'll go right here. It says, before going to our next section, would be worthwhile to cover the family that Barthrain Russell came from. They hold the title of Dukes of Bedford. All right. Ordo W. Russell served in Lord Palmerston's office from 1850 to 1852. All right. He served as unofficial ambassador for Great Britain to the Vatican from 1857 to 70. His son Baron Amphill was Grand Master of the English Masons 1908 to 1935. He joined the English equivalent of the Knights of Malta, that is the Order of St. John of Jerusalem, and served as the Grand Master of the lodge formed at the Bank of England. He was appointed head of the Indian Masons of Madras, all right, India, all right, home of the Theosophical Society. Ordo Russell's son also served in some high political positions, all right. Russell's connected to groups that tie back to the Illuminati. Charles Edward Russell, Jewish socialist who worked for the New York Life controlled by J.P. Morgan, and also for New York Tribune and Herald. All right, James E. Russell, Columbia University professor who introduced once Hegelian philosophy to his students at Columbia. Thomas Russell, a revolutionist of the Illuminati stream of revolution. All right, and it gives you more Russell. Samuel Russell represented Baring Bros, helped open up the port of Shanghai for the international financiers. All right, Bertrand Russell, famous Fabian socialist and One World Order. All right, so let's keep reading. Yeah, it just keeps listening to Russells. All right. Charles Taze Russell Sr., pastor, Russell's uncle, broker, and real estate agent. All right. Now called Jehovah's Witnesses. All right. It says Russell connected in some way to Mormonism. All right. Elder Isaac Russell, a prominent early Mormon missionary to Great Britain in 1837. All right. So let's keep going. All right. These are just notes. All right. So it says Michael Roberts, Political Parties, a sociological study of the oligarchical tendencies of modern democracy. All right. Which that's a book. All right. I think I might look up that book real quick. All right. Excuse me. All right. It says this author has collaborated the connection of the Mormon leadership to the Satanic bloodlines and the Prière de Zion, all right, through several independent sources. One descendant of Joseph Smith, all right, which is the man who started Mormonism, which he was also a Freemason, all right, who took part of satanic rituals, all right, has been willing to tell about the family's occult history. A Christian who was once part of the satanic hierarchy, who ran verbal instructions to the Mormon First Presidency from the Council of 13, collaborates their connections. All right, the historical roots, even those that the Mormon leaders themselves have printed, expose the genealogical ties to some of the most powerful occult bloodlines. All right, this subject is very controversial. One of the few books even willing to touch the subject, all right, in a scholarly biblical manner is Crawford J.B. All right, Last Battle Cry. All right. Last Battle Cry, Christianity's Final Conflict with Evil, Knoxville, Tennessee, Jan Publishing, 1986, all right? Although I don't occur with all Crawford's conclusions, all right, the book shows more than enough evidence to support the point superscripted, all right, confidential sources personally involved with it. The documentation to show that the drug war is a contrived scheme is extensive. I have chosen to place some of documentation much further back but I will state that several researchers give seminars exposing it in detail. The Vietnam War was an important part of the scheme, all right, and since then, some of the recent important laws passed to implement this contrived war, all right, are, you know, all right. Marilyn Ferguson, New Age writer, states in her famous book, The Aquarium Conspiracy, all right, LSD gave a whole generation a religious experience, all right, but chemical Satori is perishable, its effects too overwhelming to integrate into everyday life, all right. Let's see what's going on, all right. So I'll just end it right there. That's part 2, all right. No matter of fact, I'll read a little more. All right. So it says, I'll skip all the notes and just go to right here. All right. So it says there was enough circumstantial, all right, evidence to lead one to question several assumptions. I began to question the assumptions that the Watchtower presidents were unconnected to each other. Another supposition, all right, that was questionable was the Watchtower Society did not have an hidden agenda. It says once there was a Jewish family named, whose name was Russel, all right, they lived in the early 17th century Germany, all right. They moved to a country called Scotland, all right. There they respelled their name Russell, all right. They took on the ways of their new homeland. The English tried to settle Protestants from Scotland and Ireland in order to control the Irish. When the opportunity opened up to go to the Emerald Island in Ireland with the Scottish settlers who went to the plantation Ulster, they went. It is possible, but not known for sure, that they learned to know the Rutherfords either in Scotland or Ireland. Scotland repeatedly appears as the source of much of the religious heresy connected with the power. That Charles Taze Russell's family were in Scotland for a period, and also from the German states, which seemed to be a hotbed for Jewish Satanism, may be only a coincidence. Then again, it might be a clue to understanding the origin of the Watchtower Society. This author's previous book, The Watchtower and the Masons, tells a story how the Arian heresy began at the University of Edinburgh, Scotland, and spread to the Presbyterians of the Synod of Ulster. All right, the book gives the author's reason for believing that Charles Taze Russell's family in Northern Ireland, all right, in Northern Ireland, were Arian in belief before coming to the U.S., and chances are they were involved with Freemasonry also. Of course, man. Of course. All right. I'll leave it right there. All right. So if it be the Lord's will, I'll do a part 3. All right. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. All right. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right. This lesson was edifying. I recommend that you watch the part 1, man. All right. So all, you know, part 1, there was a lot of juicy information that came out. All right. So with that being said, I want to say call Halalyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. All right. So into the next one. Shalom.